Dr. Rank making my ASM debut, presenting the marathon debut of Finding Nemo, which was just loading a demo there, sorry. So this is a movie tie-in game for the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. It is notorious for its difficulty, and we're going to do a 100% run. So right off the bat, I'm going to pick Load Game. Speed runs of this game allow you to use a pre-existing save file to skip the in-level cutscenes. The only catch is that we have to start with 0 out of 60 starfish, and the goal of this run is going to be to collect all of them. Alright, so time starts when I hit yes, which will be in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so first level is Going to School, which is a standard tutorial level. This game is a 2D side-scroller, though there will be some very frequent 3D sections. Main tech you're going to see me using in 2D is spamming Nemo's dart attack, which is the fastest way to move horizontally. And I missed the bubble ring, that's not good. Never done that before. Good job. Now in 3D, you automatically swim forward slowly, but you move faster if you hold the X button. Though you move faster still if you mash it, because there's a bit of extra acceleration when you first press the button. And swimming through bubble rings also gives you a small speed boost, and is also one of the required collectibles for 100%. So you can see they have, like, out of 42 there. Okay, take a quick detour through these caves to find Pearl the octopus. We made it, Ink. Sorry, Pearl. We're going to take her back to Tad and Sheldon on the left. And she'll give us an item that can help us get rid of the clam. Now, unfortunately, carrying stuff and darting use the same button. Alright, now these pebbles are another 100% collectible. So we got to carry there's 3 of these, and we got to carry them to their matching colored platforms. And we got the 3-pointer there, that's cool. So if we get all 3 of those, then we'll get a golden starfish, which is the main collectible of 100%. So that timer there is comparing to my personal best for this level, because we're using a New Game Plus. If I beat that time, then the game will spend 2 seconds updating it, and we don't want that. Shouldn't be at risk of beating the time too much, though, because obviously when I set those times, I was doing any percent. So I'm going to trigger this cutscene so it doesn't mess us up later. Now, normally that cutscene is where you unlock the dart attack, but because this is New Game Plus, we already have it. There we go, that's our first starfish. Now, you can only dart horizontally or diagonally. There's no way to dart vertically. And now we've got a race to win. So we're going to get 2 starfish here, the bubble ring bonus for getting all 42 bubble rings, and the race bonus for winning. Oh, forgot which starfish cutscene I was watching there for a minute. Alright, so lastly we have the combat tutorial. So killing enemies works. You hit a bubble, it traps the enemy, and then you dart into them. In later levels, killing all the enemies gives you a starfish. And that's level 1 done. Except, you may notice there's 1 grey starfish still. That's for the bonus level. So there's 1 of these for each level. This one, you have to bounce the ball through all the hoops. And this left one is the hardest to get it. There we go. The ball is very difficult to control. Also, you may recognize this ball from other Pixar films, originally appearing in the short film Luxo Jr. So that's pretty easy bonus level. That will not be the case for long. So field trip's a pretty chill level as well. Some actual enemies to kill this time. So those krill, they act as health basically. If you take damage, then you lose krill. If you have no krill, then you die. But thankfully, dying only resets your position. It doesn't affect collectibles. So like, if I have 6 bubble rings after I die, then I'll still have 6 when I respawn. Now these shell rings, we want to avoid collecting them because they're worth 600 points each. And just like with the time, if you beat your best shell score for a level, you get 2-second time loss. This is the brand new starfish of this level, the bounce bonus. We got 35 sea sponges to bounce on, and I keep missing that one. So, roughly following a Hamiltonian path here, where we hit each one at least once. Roughly being the operative word. Alright, gonna slow down a bit here because those rings on the right are easy to miss. Now, if we miss a bubble ring, we can just die to get back to the last checkpoint. But when you have too much krill, it'll take a while to die. So this area has these caves in the background. And swimming through them will take us on the other side of these walls. And we have to use those little currents to transport the pebbles on the other side. Wow, I never get that pebble grab before the starfish spawns. That's awesome. Alright, let's see if I can get this one. Ah, too far. Alright, probably got time for a donation or two here, if there are any.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just wanted to remind everyone that we have the incentive for this run coming up, which is which level we use to finish the run. So currently Dory is at a $75 lead over Marlin and Nemo. So if you do want to see us find Nemo, I assume with Nemo, make sure you get that in before the end of the run.
Yeah, so we'll probably close that once I enter Fishing Net Rescue, the final level.
Yep. All right, so we've got some time.
Yeah, about 2 hours, give or take.
Yeah, some time.
Alright, so this 3D section's a little different. So that meter on the bottom represents Mr. Ray's distance. We have to keep up with him using these speed rings. If we miss one, he gets further away. And if he gets all the way ahead, then we die. There we go. Managed to not miss any bubble rings there. But now we have the hardest bonus level in the game. Remember how I said the starfish collectibles are retained if you die? This level doesn't. We gotta bounce on 100 sea sponges without dying, and there's enemies in the way, and they move randomly. Also, according to the manual, those enemies are called squishies. Oh. Analog stick wasn't letting me move there. Yeah, I never get 0 deaths during an actual run. Like, I had a 0 death run of this level in the practice room yesterday. And I had one when I did a minimum shells challenge run. But I haven't had one during an actual speed run. This is the real early game run killer. Oh, come on. I didn't realize I could jump that far. Like, they usually only move one space at a time. What? Oh. Get used to that death animation.
Have you tried just getting lucky? Clearly not.
Yeah, just get lucky, bro. Oh. Yeah, my personal best does this in 2 attempts. But, obviously you're not going to get that every time. You can get some really bad RNG with the squishies in later levels. Like, sometimes they just completely block your path. Oh. I wasn't going left, I swear. Alright, I'm gonna go right this time. Oh. Yeah, the fact that the game's in 4x3 doesn't help. Oh, I think we're good. There we go! Was anyone actually counting my deaths there? Because I wasn't.
First try.
Yeah, let's go with that. Alright. Now we have the drop-off. The drop-off?! Alright, now we actually found some new tech in this level just last week. I call it Pebble ghosting. And you'll see why I call it that soon. Okay. There we go. So those steam jets are a hazard that damages you, but if you let go of a pebble as you pass through it, you won't take damage. You can do it with any character, but Dory's seems to be frame perfect as far as I know. And there's only 3 levels that it's possible to do in. Oh, okay, missed the timing there. Oh. Alright, got a little pebble ghost there. I'm going to grab this krill just for safety. So if you dart into an obstacle at the right time, then you just bounce off without taking damage as well. That's a thing for all characters. All right. We're off to touch the butt. All right. There's some currents pushing us around here. If we go all the way off screen, then we die. Instantly. All right. We got a couple auto scrollers here, so good time for some donations.
So I just wanted to let people know that thanks to the generosity of one member of our community, we actually have a grand prize of a brand new Switch 2 console. And so you can go into the running for that if you make a donation of at least $50. And yeah, it's a Switch 2, so definitely a nice incentive on top of the existing incentive of changing what character we use for the final level.
Alright, so I guess you could technically call this a boss fight, though we're not going to do much fighting. Like it's just a chase sequence, like it's in Crash Bandicoot. Actually, this game was made by Traveller's Tales, who 2 years prior made Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. You might notice some similarities in the graphics engine. And it also had the same composer, which is why the music sounds so similar. The music in this game is incredible as well. Alright. Now we have the bonus level. This one is 100% consistent, but I have a guide in front of me just in case. Probably won't need it though. So just gotta unscramble this picture. Boom. I'm obnoxious. Yeah, so there's a few of those throughout the game, not just in bonus levels. There's 3x3 ones and 4x4 ones. The 3x3s are very easy to memorize. 4x4 less so. Alright, so this is our first Marlin level. Now you notice I'm not gonna dart much as Marlin. Unlike Nemo, Marlin's dart has a lot of start lag. So it's actually slower to dart spam with him, and it's faster just to move normally. Duh. Okay, missed the bubble trail there. So with bubble trails, you have to swim into them in order, and they give you a normal bubble. And there are some enemies that can only be killed with them. This one. So that pebble can really screw you over if you're trying to go for a three-pointer. Because even though this game is 2D, it's still running in 3D, and it kind of curves there, so the pebble can actually drop in front of the platform. Also, this is the best song in the game. So this level we've got a timer to reach each checkpoint. We are not in danger of missing the timer at any point. Right. So I'm going to go back for this other grab. So the bubbles take about 5 seconds to respawn. Probably longer. But if you go off screen, then they'll respawn instantly. The tiny bubbles in the bubble trails take much longer. Alright, I'm going to go over to the right here, get some cleverly hidden bubble rings. Also, I'm swapping between D-pad and analog stick. The D-pad actually is better at moving diagonally. For some reason. We're going to grab these bubble rings and go down this hole. Alright, and just one last 3D section. So got time for a few donos?
Yes, I just wanted to give a special shout out to the run after this, the Final Fantasy X Renamed Tidus incentive, as there is a bit of a bidding war going on. We have Ject Jr. on $50, John SR on $20, Tide Pod on $10, Tidus on $10, Tidus on $10, and Indeedus on $5. So if you want to contribute to one of those bits or add your own, then yeah, it's a pretty doable incentive. And like I say, there's a lot of bidding and controversy over the correct Clearly, I also don't have the correct pronunciation, but I think Indeedus definitely kind of, like when you see Tidus, that makes the most sense.
All right, so we got a bonus level with Dory this time. This one is actually random, so it's a card matching game. The layout is always random. All right, we got double anchor right off the bat. Ooh. Oh, where was Gurgle? There we go. There we go. Yeah, so that's one of the only bonus levels that's truly RNG, aside from the squishy movement.
I'm not sure if it's the 7 a.m. talking, but I would have made that look way harder.
Yeah. All right, so this is Catch Dory. Similar to the Mr. Ray section in Field Trip, where following her with speed rings. This time, though, she doesn't speed up or slow down based on the rings you miss, and I missed the bubble ring there. It is purely the physical distance between us. So we got to close it to 0, and we got to do that 3 times. And the area just loops. So if we miss a bubble ring like I did earlier, then we can just slow down until we hit it. There's a few cave shortcuts in this one as well, but they are actually slower than just following the path. It always takes at least 1 lap to catch her. And of course, every time you get a cutscene, of her saying, "A boat? Hey, I've seen a boat. It went this way. It went this way." So got time for any more donations that have come in?
Still no donations, but I just wanted to thank Urban Climb for sponsoring ASM 2025. They've generously contributed 7 prize vouchers for entry into any urban climb across Australia, as well as the included gear hire, which is great for us because there's one about 20 metres from here. But yeah, if there's one near you, I definitely recommend going into the running for those, as it's climbing, we're speedrunners. For some reason, every speedrunner climbs.
Yeah, so this section is the only spot in the whole game where you're required to dart in 3D. And we might be in danger of beating our best time here. So I'm going to switch to just holding X for a couple seconds. Yeah. Kind of counterintuitive to want to not beat your best time. All right, so we've got another slide puzzle here. This one's a 4x4. I am going to consult the guide here on my phone. Because good luck memorizing this.
I mean, it's kind of fitting that Dory has the puzzles that you can't memorize, has the random guessing cards, and then the one that's too big to memorize. It's just really putting you in her shoes.
Yeah. There's thankfully only 2 4x4s in the whole game. The rest are all 3x3. And unfortunately, those are all found in the main levels. Thankfully, Minefield isn't one of them. So this one, we're following Bruce the Shark, who in the original movie was voiced by the legendary Barry Humphries. Rest in peace. Though he did not reprise the role for the video game. Like, in the FMV cutscenes, they dubbed over him with Jess Harnell, who also did the in-game dialogue for Marlin. I'll actually let you hear some of that in the in-level cutscene that's coming up in 2 checkpoints' time. But for now, it's just more speed rings. We get a bit of a break from speed rings after this level, thankfully. But deaths in this level are very punishing, because like it's a million years between checkpoints. And we're also avoiding shell rings wherever possible. Because again, we don't want to beat our best shell score for this level. Alright, 13 bubble rings is correct here. Now we get the titular mines of the minefield. Now, we will get some 2D sections with Dory later, and just like Marlin, her dart is slow.
Careful, my little tidbits. You don't want to be popping any of them balloons. It'd be bad for your health, mate, and mine.
Shout out to Jess Harnell, doing the best fake Aussie accent I've seen. All right, so this is another bounce bonus. The catch with this one is that we're not allowed to bounce on the same mine more than 3 times. If we do, then we die and have to start the whole thing over. There's a consistent route for this through this one, thankfully, and once you know it, it is a piece of cake. So yes, we hit third bounce on that last one. One, two, three. There we go. So that was actually the last starfish that I got as a kid. It's very daunting at first, but once you know the route, it's not that bad. Alright, so got time for host to read stuff here.
Yep. So we actually just wanted to remind people that in addition to the donating, the Twitch revenue we receive also goes to Game on Cancer, which includes both bits and subscriptions. So that's just another nice way to support Game on Cancer while getting access to like the emotes and stuff for yourself as well throughout the event.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic cause as well. My aunt is actually a breast cancer survivor. She was diagnosed back in early 2010s, but she's still alive to this day. We did a lot of fundraising events in high school as well, like Relay for Life. My family was very involved in that, which is just awesome.
Yeah, it's a really good cause and close to a lot of people here at the event, as well as just statistically a lot of people. It's something that affects a lot of us, so the fewer people it can affect in the future, the better.
Yeah. Alright, so this is probably the most dangerous checkpoint in this level, because the speed ring route takes you right through these ink clouds. Like that one that you can barely see. And you just see how much time Death loses in this level.
Just keep swimming.
It just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Also, if this game should ever get a PS5 re-release, there should be an achievement called Just Keep Swimming for following Dory for 3 full laps and catch Dory. I may or may not have written a full list of achievements I should add. So the reason I'm running the PS2 version is because that's what I had. Like I didn't have a Xbox or GameCube as a kid. The Xbox and GameCube versions have faster loading times, and there's no load remover for this game. But the GameCube version has a very unstable frame rate, so it runs terribly. I might get my hands on the Xbox version if I can get an Xbox. Alright, so this is probably the worst bonus level in the game. It's another Loxo ball level. If either Marlin or the ball touches a mine, it explodes. We don't have to do it in one death, thankfully, but it's still very annoying. Yep, like that. I love how they made a whole unique death animation for the ball. Oh. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the right side first. Except for this one. Yeah, so each mine has a hoop to its left and a hoop to its right. All right. All right, we're going to intentionally die here. Get us back to the start. Yeah, the ball is very hard to control. And it's especially hard to control when you're trying to go fast. Alright, so on 14. Alright. Actually, where is the last one? Probably on the right somewhere. There it is. Alright, so I did a small skip there. I died after the starfish spawned to collect it faster. The starfish is actually in your inventory the moment it spawns, so you can get a starfish and then immediately quit back to the level select, and it will still count. Unfortunately, that's not useful in this run, because we still have to finish every level in order. But it's useful if you miss one and have to restart the whole level to get it.
Quick, Dory, let's get out of here.
Alright, so we got a chase sequence with Bruce here. Whenever the exclamation mark appears above Dory's head, we swim down to dodge his attack. And the bubble rings here are always in the center of the screen, so we're going to say roughly there. Alright, and now we're in 2D.
That was close. Come on, let's see where this goes.
I'm going to grab safety krill here. Alright, don't want to grab too many shells. Alright. So with this level, we can't just go straight to the end because the door's shut. So we got to find a button to open it. Missed the cycle with that flamethrower. Right. Now, unfortunately, this checkpoint will take away all of our krill. So, oh, well, we only needed the one anyway. All right. Probably got time for a couple donations if there are any.
Yes, we've got one $4 donation from Anonymous asking, so what's the most dangerous Australian sea creature?
Blue-ringed octopus, I'd say.
Well, you better answer.
Alright, so this is a really long section here. It's like a good 5 minutes between checkpoints for 100%. Okay, so if can't miss these bubble rings. Need it to be on 109 before the next checkpoint. And red platform is there. So first, we're going to go through this tunnel to reach the button that opens the next door. Then we're going to backtrack through this area. And we might see some electric eels on the way. And also, fun fact, Marlin has a unique death animation for the electric eels, but only in the American... failed the Pebble Ghost there. But only in the American PS2 and Xbox versions. Like, the PAL version just replaces it with the generic Dizzy death animation, which is really long. So hopefully the green landed properly there. Nearly went out of reach there.
Is there a lore reason for these coloured pebbles in every level, by the way?
There is not.
Yep.
It's a Traveller's Tales original.
Yep. The lore is they needed some collectibles in the level.
I mean, why are there circular bubbles arranged in a ring?
Famously, bubbles are neutrally buoyant.
Yeah, like that one down there.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, we've got blue pebble here. And we're going to have to drop this a few times to deal with the enemies, because darting and carrying pebbles is mapped to the same button. Which, for PlayStation, is square. And we've got to wait for the next bubble to spawn. Nearly got to squeeze there. Probably could have pebble ghosted there. Oh, 2 out of 3. Okay, so either green or red didn't land properly. Probably green. Wow, that's the first time that's happened. Yeah, green didn't land properly. There we go. Alright, so we won't be seeing any more pebble ghosting for the rest of the run, unfortunately. Because the crossover of levels with pebbles and gas jets is very scarce. Yeah, cycles are very important with this level, obviously. We haven't yet implemented pebble ghosting into 80% yet, because it was only found a week ago. And I'm pretty much the only guy running this game. Like literally there is nobody else on the 100% leaderboards. Everyone either does any percent or individual levels. Alright, and I'm gonna go all the way to the left to make the bubbles respawn faster. There we go. That's hero bonus done. So should have 109 bubble rings here. 109. Perfect. Alright, let's slow down a bit here, because the bubble rings are very easy to miss in this section. Alright. Now we have just one more slide puzzle and the level is done.
Sorry, you'll have to come back later. We're trying to escape.
Okay, there's no way out. There's gotta be a way out.
Yeah, so these slide puzzles are 100% consistent. They always start out in the same layout every time. So if you do the same moves every time, you'll solve it in the same amount of time. And that is the hardest level in the game behind us. And conversely, the bonus level is one of the easiest because it's just a race. So this one has these red rings, which give you a massive speed boost when you swim through them. And we only see them in 2 bonus levels and 1 main level. So good spot for any donations here.
Yep, so just a reminder that in addition to the Switch giveaway the Switch 2 giveaway for $50 donations, we also have the $20 donations, which put you in the running for one of our Steam game bundles. And you can get more information on that one over at prizes.ozspeedruns.com. Also, did you know on the Xbox version, the red rings are actually really bad for your console?
Wait, really?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Right. Right, right, the red rings of death on the 360. Yeah, I've never owned an Xbox console, so that took me a minute to get.
Yeah, I think one of the most important parts of hosting is spreading at least a little misinformation.
Even if unintentionally. All right, so this is hide and seek. Our goal is to find all 6 tank gang members, minus Gil. So we're going to do bubbles first by taking this key over to the treasure chest. Oh, well, I can get that bubble ring on the way back. Then we're going to do this slide puzzle of Deb and or Flo. And we're just going to tag Peach here. And we're going to stay... We're going to give the slide puzzle wide berth because you can't dart while you're near it. We're going to save Gurgle to last. We're going to drop this down. Hope it lands because there's a blue platform down there. And we're going to drop down and check. Yeah, not even close. Yeah. Find bloat among the anemones. Oh. And we're going to drop the Pebble off here for a bit while we get Jacques by knocking down these coconuts. And grab the red Pebble from the tiki head. Also, fun fact, those tiki heads are actually caricatures of Pixar employees. And we're going to get last bubble ring here and hopefully get a 3-pointer with this. Nope, overshot. Alright, now let's go get Gurgle. Gurgle is inside the volcano. Now getting out of here is very slow, but the last character you find ends the level. So we only have to do half of this puzzle, which is just going through these rings in rainbow order. And that's hide and seek done. Now we have another pair card matching level. The last one we'll see in the game, and this one's much easier because it's in a grid instead of a circle, and there's one less pair to find. Because of course Nemo gets the easier one than Dory. I'm trying to remember if I saw Sheldon somewhere. Ah, there's Bruce. And Jacques. All right. So next up we have Mask Search, which is going to be our first 2D level with Dory. And as I mentioned before, Dory moves slower when she darts, so we're just going to move normally most of the time. That being said, she will still be darting a lot in this level. Oh. Alright, got a timer section here. This one's pretty tight if you're going for 100%. Because we got bubble rings there, and up top, and down the bottom, and some clams to kill. All right, we made it. So we're gonna. So in this level, the main gimmick is that Dory and Marlin have to team up by attacking each other. Dory is stronger and can move heavier obstacles, but Marlin fits into tighter spaces. Dory also has a higher base swimming speed, so we're going to use her for most of the bubble rings. And also, we're going to grab all the starfish in this level as Dory. You can do it with Marlin, but his starfish cutscene is much longer.
Just keep tagging. Just keep tagging.
And each segment has an extra required tag between the two. So probably a good spot for some donations here.
Yep, so we actually have a $75 donation from Darlat, who says, "This event is so cozy. Keep up the great stuff, guys. Loving these esoteric runs." And thank you for that. And just a reminder as well that we do have those donation incentives. So if you are going to donate, if you look in advance, you can put that money towards one of the donation incentives by mentioning it in the comments section on Tiltify when making your donation. And yeah, we have the upcoming Finding Nemo choosing the finishing character incentive as well. So make sure you get that in before the end of the run.
Yep. Also, I just saw on my phone that my sister was trying to call me. Oh, I'm sorry, sister. I will call you back after this run. I hope you're enjoying it if you're watching. Alright, so this time we're going to start with Marlin.
Buddy, what's your name again?
So we're going to dart into this nut to drop down that panel, which will clear the path for Dory. And we're going to carry the pebble back, but we won't drop it off as Marlin. We'll get Dory to do it, because she moves faster. Oh. Also, I love how Dory and the blue pebble use the same question mark color when you approach them. And we're going to grab the green pebble here, take it to the section below us. Yep, undershot. There we go. Oh, can't forget those two. And Marlin's going to go up top here, grab the red. Drop it as he grabs this bubble ring, and it's going to fall all the way down. Dory will pick it up on the way out.
Over to you.
So you can see how much shorter Dory's starfish cutscene is than Marlin's. Grab this bubble ring. All right. So we're on 84 bubble rings. We'll get the last one as Dory. Then after that, we just swim to the right, find the mask.
Over to you.
There we go. All right, I'm going to bring the guide back up again. Okay, we accidentally beat our shell score there. Got 790, which is higher than it was on the file already. All right, one more slide puzzle. There we go. So that is the last 4x4 slide puzzle of the run. There's one more 3x3 though. Now next we have Anglerfish Chase. It is a very hard level, and in order to do this, I'm going to need to let go with my left hand. Yeah, so if you mash X hard enough, then the anglerfish just misses with its bite. It doesn't work on every version, though. Like, I've tried doing this on American GameCube version through Dolphin. I can dodge maybe the first one. But on at least PAL PS2, it is 100% consistent. The downside, though, is that when I set up this file, I had to miss some bubble rings to keep the file valid. And bubble rings give you a speed boost, which means I am in danger of beating my best time here. So I got to remember to slow down at the end.
42.
All right, so after I get 42 bubble rings, the anglerfish is going to do a double bite. And then I'm going to hold X instead of mashing it for a bit. Yeah! All right, P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. All right. Yeah. So I got a nice relaxing Loxo ball level here. Actually, I'll go down first. So there's a bit of an invisible current in this level. Which is pushing the ball upwards. There we go. So next we've got Mount Wanahockaloogie, or for short, just Mount W. Because, I mean, who can remember to say Mount Wanahockaloogie? Alright, so this first checkpoint isn't too bad, but I have died here a few times. Alright, right, gotta grab these first. So with this level, first thing we gotta do is block these small leaks, which will allow us to do a puzzle that blocks a big one. Now, if I dot that sign, it'll tell me the solution. But I already know the solution because played the game before. So it's always right, left, middle, right, left. So the orange bubbles to my right there, those are solid. And they are hazardous to touch. And there's no krill in this level. I have thought about potentially skipping past them. My attempts have been fruitless. Like, even if you use the invincibility cheat, it's just a solid wall all the way up. Like, past the surface of the water. Alright, so final slide puzzle of the run. And now we're gonna grab these bubble rings. So hit the cutscene before the starfish there. Alright. So now we gotta do the ring of fire. We have to hit at least 28 rings without missing more than 3. And we got all 30. Alright. So this bonus level is another memory game, but this one's a bit different. It's essentially Simon Says. So the school of moonfish in the middle is going to give us some shapes to input, and we got to copy them. So bloat first. So there's 7 rounds in this one. Once we win all 7, then we get the starfish. And we're going to need some concentration here. Alright. Jacques, bloat, Deb. Nice simple pattern. Alright. Peach, Jacques, gurgle, peach. Alright. Bubbles, bloat, peach. Gill, peach. So Bubbles and Deb have very similar silhouettes. Bubbles and Deb, rather. Right. Jacques, Deb, Gill. Bloat, Bubbles, Peach. Right. Gill, Bubbles, Gurgle, Jacques. Bloat, Bubbles, Gurgle. Alright, and that's that level done. Yeah, so there's a couple ones like that later that have 8 rounds. Because, of course, Marlin gets the harder ones. Nemo is easy mode. Alright. Now, Jellyfish race is a bit interesting. So, back in going to school, we had an optional race that only gives you a starfish if you win it. This one, you just have to win to make progress. So I'm going to hit square as I pass through each jellyfish, which will give me a massive speed boost.
Question is, Dory, are you hungry?
Hungry?
Because you're about to eat my bubbles.
It is the fastest way to move forwards in 3D. Each jellyfish you hit in a row, though, shortens the window to press square. This is also one level where you're essentially forced to collect every single shell when going for 100%. Fortunately, I already got every single shell in this level on this file. Alright. Now we got a bouncing section here with more squishies. Now we don't have to do it in one life this time, but they can still be annoying by just blocking the path like that. And you can see Marlin has a very long death animation there. Yeah. I love how these guys are officially called squishies in the manual. I hope we get some good RNG with them, because like on the run that I submitted for ASM, the last squishy actually blocked the exit tile. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Probably got time for some donations here while I fail at this.
Yeah, absolutely. We have $50 from Nightshade, who says, first ASM trip for me, really cool and friendly people so far. We'll be heading over soon. Also, Nemo.
Ooh. Nemo's finally on the board.
Yeah. So now we're at Dory 75, Nemo 50, and then Marlin lagging behind on a big old 0.
Yeah. Shame, really. Like, Marlin is technically the protagonist. Like, it's called Finding Nemo because it's about Marlin finding Nemo.
Maybe he should have had less startup lag on his dash.
Oh, shots fired.
I assume Nemo is the optimal character for the final level?
Yes, he is. Not because he moves any faster, don't get me wrong. Like, even at full dash, he's much slower than Dory is. But Nemo requires the fewest backtracking.
I mean, either way, Marlin's still lagging behind in third.
Yeah. There we go, got a clear shot this time. There we go. Got all the jellyfish bouncers. Still got one more race yet, though. Now, fun fact, it is actually possible to win the race without using any jellyfish. I've done it myself. But it is incredibly slow. Like, you see how much slower Marlin moves when he's not using the jellyfish boost. Hit square a bit early there. Gotta stop to get that starfish, man. And the clownfish is the winner. Alright. So we got the longest Luxo Ball bonus level in the game. There's 80 hoops in this one, and I just lost audio on my left ear for a minute. Get back here. Yeah, I still lost my audio and left here. I don't know if I've unplugged something by accident or not.
Quick, someone wake up Club 2.
So if you got any more donations, now would be a great time to power through them.
None at the moment, but I just wanted to remind people, tying back to what we said earlier, that for 2025 we're raising money for Game on Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research to make this the last generation to die from cancer. If you'd like to donate, you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com.
I think I'll do left side first. Come on, get in there. There we go. Got a few up here. Probably should have gone for these first, actually. Oh. I gotta pick it up again. Just gotta get this last row. There we go. Now, surely we won't have to do any more ball levels, right?
I love foreshadowing.
All right, so this is training with Gil. It is so half of this level is done from a whole new perspective, from top down. For all intents and purposes, this is a 2D section. So fastest movement would be Nemo darting, except that it's essentially an auto scroller. Like, you can actually get in front of Gil, but if you don't go back for the speed rings, the game fails you.
Fast.
Yeah, faster. That's the name of the game here. It's a speed run.
I did it!
You do.
Alright, so you may notice there's no numbers on this bouncing section. For this one, we have to bounce on all of them to progress, but they pop back up after a while. Like, the only starfish in this level is bubble rings.
Try to keep up with it.
Try to keep up with you. Dude, I am practically touching your tail.
Next time,
Like-
turn quick.
Like, I could practically hitch a ride on your dorsal fin. Lousy Moorish idol. And here, it's back. And this time, it's required. Oh, yeah. So, if the ball pops, it'll respawn back where it started. But hopefully, it won't pop. Oh, bro. Bro! Yes, this is the only required ball section in any percent. And we don't get a starfish from this one either. Alright. Alright, I'm going to grab the bubble rings over by the sail. Alright, and we're going to use this current to push it back up. Can I catch it? Yeah! No, 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 no. Ah. So I was trying to push it down into the last few hoops, but went too far left and it popped. So now I've got to go back and pick it up again. Whoopee. It's funny, as a kid, I always found the Loxo ball to be the best part of the game. And then now, as an adult and as a speedrunner, it's the worst. I don't care if you're a Pixar Easter egg. You're hard to control. Also, shoutouts to Bamford, who did Monsters Inc. Scream Team earlier. Nice to see more than one Pixar game being represented here.
That's it, kid.
Alright. So, because I missed a speed ring there, Nemo won't say that I did it at the end,
Try to keep up with it.
which doesn't affect anything. Because it takes the same amount of time to end the level regardless. I have experimented with the idea of using other languages to potentially save time, but all language versions use the English voice dub, so... Alright. Now we got more squishies! I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my squishy. Only 26 tiles this time, but once again we have to do it without dying. And and once again, they can just block the path. Oh, they didn't block the path this time. They had me cornered! That's never happened before. I love when things happen in a marathon for the first time. I couldn't move fast enough. Because you can only move if you're moving the stick as you land, basically. Bro! Bro! Okay, he's blocking the path. There we go. And we got a break from squishies for a while, but we have not seen the last of them. Thankfully, that is the last starfish that requires you to not die. All right. Now we got East Australian Current, or EAC. This opening section, I need 33 bubble rings before I continue. And they alternate the top and bottom of the path.
You got me once, but can you get me again?
So we got to tag Dory before the time runs out, and we're going to do it 3 times. Sneaky little rings there. Also, I'm using D-pad to make diagonals better.
And we're up again. Bye!
Alright, and I'm going to stay on the bottom here. There we go, 33.
Hey.
Now for this bouncing section, we got some turtles to find. And once we find all the turtles, Crush will appear at the end. He takes a while before we can bounce on him and go to the next checkpoint, so I'm going to backtrack while I wait. All right, and we got one last mandatory race. So there's no starfish for winning this one, but this is the last time that'll be the case. We got both bubble rings and red rings here. We want to hit as many red rings as possible, but we also don't want to miss any bubble rings. There we go, that's EAC done. But we got a Simon Says bonus level. And so the first one of these, the theme of all the options was Tank Gang members. This time the theme is level icons. So like when you highlight a level on the level select, the moonfish will form the shape of like Crush or the Mask or Bruce. anglerfish and whale. Right, mask, ray, mask. So there's 8 rounds in this one instead of 7. Right. Whale, angler, dory, mask. Nice, easy clockwise loop. Yep. Bruce, mask. Bruce, Gill, Ray. Mask, whale, dory. Mask, Gill, mask. Bruce, Gill, angler, mask. Ray, whale, crush. Bruce, Gill, angler, mask. Whale, crush, dory. Bruce, Ray, crush, mask. Ray, angler, dory, gill. And there we go. So the layout, so the inputs you can get are always random, but so you can't like map them out in advance. Not that you'd be able to, because you can't start the first input until they finish the pattern. All right, so this is the plan. It is quite possibly the worst level for a speedrun. So the goal of this level is to bonk straight into thorns, apparently. No, so for this level we have to find 5 red pebbles and carry them into the filter. So there's 1 in that clan that we'll come back for. And there's 2 on the right side of the tank and 2 on the left. So we're going to grab this one from the diver helmet. And we're not going to carry it all the way, though. We're just going to drop it off here and hope that the current at the bottom doesn't pull it back to the right side. Then we're going to take this shortcut under the hull. And we're going to drop this one off here. But there's one more thing to the right. So there's some green rings here, but wait, what are those blue rings for? What could they be for? So yeah, so this is the only main level with a Luxo Ball starfish. Now, you technically can do pebbles and ball at the same time, but if you thought the ball was hard to control normally, try controlling it while carrying something. So we're just going to come back for that pebble. We're going to wrap up the Luxo Ball stuff first. And we'll check on Pebble here. Yep, it is out of range of that current, which is good. Now while that's falling, I'm going to check on this Pebble and get it out of the clam so we don't have to worry about cycles. Now, if you get trapped by a clam, you don't die, but you do get stuck for a good 5 seconds. And you also don't want to leave the ball unattended here, because if it drops down into the corner here, you can't get it out. All right. Now I'm gonna send the ball through here, and that's going to spit it out the other side of the volcano. Save a bit of time on movement there. Now we might be able to get a cutscene skip if I do this right. Okay, we missed out. All right, we're done with the ball. We don't need the ball anymore. All right, so if I'd collected the starfish during that cutscene where I knocked out the glass eye, then the cutscene where I knocked out the glass eye would have been skipped. And now we've done all the pebble stuff, all the Luxo ball stuff. We've got all the bubble rings. Now we just focus on pebbles. So, good long stretch here. Definitely time for some donations, if there are any.
None just at the moment, but just a reminder that we do have that Switch 2, which will be given away to the winner of a raffle, and in order to get into that, you have to donate at least $50. And yeah, it's a brand new Switch 2, so thank you for the generosity of one member of our community.
Didn't mean to grab that. Well, this is what happens when you put everything on square, mate.
Yeah, the input goes on the square button.
Yeah, there's a very funny video I've seen by Jet, which so he dubs over Sonic the Hedgehog cutscenes. There's one he's done of the Sonic Adventure 2 tutorial, where it's press B button to do everything.
So this game's basically that, but square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on GameCube it's B, on Xbox it's X, I think.
Right.
Oh. Ah.
Get out of there, kid!
I'm trying, Gurgle. Alright, so that's going to mess up the cycles on that clam. Yeah, so in order for the pebbles to count, they have to go into the funnel and jam the fans.
Oh, I can't. Attaboy there, shot me.
Did I just get a triple? I just dropped all three pebbles into the funnel at the same time. That is, I've never gotten that.
The rare marathon good, I've never gotten that.
Yeah, so you can rest the pebbles on the lip of the funnel. But for them to count, they have to go in. Like, you can see that the pebbles are blocking the fans there.
We just need one more.
Yeah. So once I drop the final pebble in, Gil will congratulate us and the level will end. Oh yeah, you generally don't want to go above the surface in this game, because you can't dart. Alright, so for this pebble, we've got a small current puzzle. So dropping in the green hole first. It overshot. I've never had it overshoot before. So we're going to left hole first, which will take us to the top. And it's the same pathing as in hide and seek. So if you remember where each path was, then it's pretty simple. The one exception being this one takes you to the exit. Oh. There we go. How are we doing on time? 1:41. That's not bad. All right. And after one of the longest levels, which is like 11 minutes long for 100% is my best, we get one of the shortest bonus levels. It's just a race with the tank gang. But this time, the camera's backwards. Yeah, it is like the boulder levels from Crash, because this game had the same developers as Rother Cortex. And also Twinsanity, which we saw last night. Shout out to Joester. All right, so this is Whale Chase. So we're going to start with getting the bubble rings here. Yeah, so you can just continue the level by letting the whale catch up, but you will miss the bubble rings if you do so. And the only way to go back for them is to pause and restart. I'm going to make sure I don't miss any. Got to make sure I get at least 2 rings in each set. There we go, 42, that's good. Alright, so this is the final appearance of squishies in the whole game. And look how far they can jump. Also, I love Dory's death there.
I know you said you hated the ball the most, but just eye test. The squishy jumping sections definitely have seemed the most annoying to me.
Yeah. But at least you can control those somewhat.
You say that, but then you never took my just get lucky advice.
Yeah, so the squishies' movement direction is random, but they always move after the same number of bounces as each other. See, in any percent, I'd be done by now. I may be too slow, but I got the bounce bonus stuff. Oh, come on! He jumped to the exit as I was stepping on it. This is a very well-made game. Good job, TT. All right. so we've got some gas jets in this level. There's going to be some of the 2D section coming up as well. Now, there is a Pebble bonus here, which means there is potential for Pebble ghosting. However, for some reason, Dory's Pebble Ghost is practically frame perfect. I think it's because the dropping animation moves them back along the Z-axis, but less so for Dory. This is the checkpoint with the pebbles in it. I'll try to Pebble Ghost if I can. Oh, that might have been it. Or the gas jet was just ending.
I'll choose to believe that was it.
There we go. Got the green pebble to land this time. A submarine. Grab some krill from this crab. Also, if I die, the pebbles will stay where they land. Which can either be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on where you were when you died. Alright. Alright, that's the lost crab. They just got the bubble rings in the race. Now, if I miss a bubble ring here, then I have to do the whole level over again. There's nothing that can kill me from this point. There we go. I didn't choke on the bubble rings. Woo! All right. Now we got our final Simon Says bonus level. Forgot to skip the cutscene, which is inexplicably from the EAC section of the movie. Very well done, Traveller's Tales. Alright, so this time the theme of the inputs is enemies. And also Squirt is there. Also, any idea what species this is? Because I am not sure in the top left. Like, I just call it flounder, but I don't think that's right. So, squishy, puffer, stunfisk. Alright, slug, turtle, puffer, squishy. Crab, eel, crab slug, clam. Crab, puffer, squishy, stunfisk, clam, stunfisk. We got double stunfisk. Clam, stunfisk, squishy, stunfisk, eel, stunfisk, clam. Couldn't remember what was fifth. Clam, stunfisk, squishy, stunfisk, Then it was eel. Yeah. Then clam. All right, last one. All right. Got eel, stunfisk, eel, slug, squishy, turtle, puffer, slug. All right. Yeah. Only one mistake. First try. All right. Now we have treatment plant, which is basically the final gauntlet. And this one's actually based on a deleted scene from the original movie. So we actually follow Nemo through the treatment plant here. They cut it from the movie, though, because at this point, Marlin thinks Nemo is dead, and they needed to focus on his grief with that. Nice dot bounce there. Also, apparently there was plans to be a level with Nigel the Pelican in this game, but they cut it for time reasons, which means Nigel does not make a single appearance in this whole game. Alright, so we're not going to wait around for that bubble. We're going to follow the current upwards, which loops around. Then we're going to follow it downwards, which loops around. Actually, with these currents, it's faster to just move downstream. And we go up here, which hits the bubble rings and loops around. We do not go down at that fork, though. Or at least not all the way. There we go. Got it first try. So, probably got time for some donations here.
Nothing yet at the moment, but pandering to our target audience, we'd like to thank Urban Climb for sponsoring ASM2025. They've generously contributed 7 prize vouchers for entry into any urban climb across Australia, as well as the included gear hire. Further information can be found at prizes.ausspeedruns.com. Also, did you know fish always keep up with the news? They're a big fan of current events.
Yeah, well, you're funnier than Marlin. All right, so I should have 45 bubble rings after this checkpoint. So 45th should come when I swim through the fan here. Yep. Now, remember when I said you don't want to be above the surface? This is the exception. And we got some really good tide cycles here. Oof. That was embarrassing. Oh, just barely missed me there. Yep. All right. And that is the final defeatable enemy of the whole game. But we didn't get good cycle here. So this elevator goes both up and down. This path just leads to a dead end with some krill, and then we'd have to go all the way back again. Whereas this one leads to the pebbles and the rest of the level. The latter's probably more important.
Okay, but they're really special krill. They're 1 in a trillion.
Shout outs to Happy Feet too. All right, here we go. We're through the elevators and into quite possibly the hardest pebble section. I'm going to use D-pad for this. So blue platform is in this hole, as is the red pebble. Red pebble's in the hole on the left, and it dropped my square input. All right, so I'm going to move upstream and down. All right, and we're going to grab green pebble. Right after we grab these bubble rings. I'm going to dart upstream, if it'll let me. All right, here we go. But that is almost all the pebbles done. There is one more set coming up in the final level. So it should have 101 bubble rings. Yep, 101. And the last 5 are in the shortest 3D section in the whole game. And as we all know, all drains lead to the ocean. They don't. All right. And now we have the final ball level of the run. This one should be much simpler, but it can also go horribly, horribly wrong. All right, so first I'm going to grab the hoops in these 2 alcoves. Oh, no, we don't want to go that way, Nemo. We want to go up. And we're just going to let that fall. Right into the hoop there. Okay, not going to get it off the ground in that state. No worries. Oh, nearly had it airborne there. Or I guess waterborne. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, come on, if I get... All right, I'll let it do another loop. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, we got final level, fishing net rescue. I think we're going to close the donation incentive now. How are we doing on that, by the way?
Yep, so unfortunately, Dory did end up winning
Well.
on the 75. then with Nemo trailing on 50, and then Marlin still floundering on the starting line. Despite being a clownfish, he was floundering.
Yeah. All right, so this is the final boss. We have to tag Dory 10 times. Her location is always random, but Marlin will always swim towards her. And as the battle progresses, we're going to see more of those nuts falling down from the surface.
Some more in here.
Keep going.
And we have a time limit as well, but honestly, death is the bigger obstacle.
Let me tag some more in here.
Oh, he's gone left.
You can do it, son.
Hopefully I don't die on the last hit. There we go. All right, so that is the final main level of the game. Now we just have one more bonus level and we're done. All right, so this one is another Pebble bonus, but it involves all three characters working together. So we're going to do Dory first. Push that out of the way for Marlin. And we get Marlin to pull that one. And he's going to take this cave, which Nemo can't for some reason. And he's going to push that lever and then the one on the right. Then we're going to go back and swap to Dory. Now the blue pebble's in here. But we're going to drop it off on the right side. Dot this door open. And then we're going to throw the pebble over the door for Nemo to get later. Because Nemo is the only one that can reach the blue platform while that door's open. And we're going to get Marlin again now. Now Nemo's going to take care of the green and blue pebbles, but before that, he's going to put the red pebble in a spot where Dory can reach it. Which is not down there. Good, stay. So I'm going to carry the green over to the third cage. Drop here, deal with the blue. And green platform's just up here in this cave. Only Nemo can reach here, so you normally end with him. And now we're gonna take the current back, which is faster. And we're going to tag in Dory. Now, with time ends, she's going to drop the pebble. There'll be a starfish cutscene and then fade and then cut to black. Time is on cut to black. There we go. And time. Oh! 2:04:56? That is a new world record. A marathon debut of Nemo, and it's a world record. Which means I have time to quickly show you what happens when you get all 60 starfish. So you get this big golden starfish. Normally this just takes you to the credits. But if you have all the starfish, then you get a little bonus area. So those film canisters can do all the cutscenes. We got lots more Luxo balls here. And you can change between all 3 characters. And so that's the run. So thank you guys so much for having me on here. It's been an amazing opportunity to come. Shout outs once again to fellow Pixar speedrunner Bamford for doing Monsters Inc. Scream Team last night. It was a very epic run. And also shout out once again to Joester for doing Crash to Insanity, Traveler's Tales. I didn't watch that run because I had to sleep for this one, but I will watch it, I promise. All right, that's it from me.
Lovely, and thank you, Dr. Rank, and congrats again on the world record. And that will be it for Finding Nemo. Stick around, and we have Yoshi's Crafted World by GL Phoenix coming up.